Once upon a time, there was a ship sailing in foreign waters. Unexpectedly, the ship encountered a terrible storm that caused it to be destroyed. Sadly, all the passengers on board were tragically drowned in the treacherous sea. However, miraculously, there was one man who managed to survive by the grace of God. After some time, the man regained consciousness and found himself washed ashore on a remote island called Desula Thailand. As soon as he woke up, he began to pray to God, pleading for help and guidance. Days passed, but no help arrived. The man spent his nights sleeping on the beach, hoping and praying for a miracle. Each morning, he woke up with renewed faith and continued to pray for help, but still, no aid came. Weeks passed, and the man started losing hope, feeling resigned to his fate on the desolate island. However, instead of succumbing to despair, he decided to take matters into his own hands. Determined to survive, the man gathered wood and grass from the wreckage of the ship and created a makeshift shelter for himself. He collected useful items from the wreckage and stored them in his humble abode. Living off coconuts and fish, he managed to sustain himself on the island, despite the solitude and challenges he faced. One fateful day, as he lit a fire to prepare some food, he accidentally turned his back on his shelter. To his devastation, he discovered that his shelter, his only sanctuary, was now engulfed in flames. Angry and disheartened, he raised his head to the sky and began to complain bitterly to God. He questioned why his only dwelling was destroyed, believing God to be cruel and indifferent to his plight. As night fell, still consumed by disappointment and anger, the man eventually fell asleep on the sandy beach. The next morning, he was awakened by a loud noise that startled him from his slumber. Opening his eyes, he was amazed to see a ship approaching the shore. He could hardly believe his eyes. Help had finally arrived. Overjoyed, the man boarded the ship and eagerly asked the captain how they had come to know about his presence on the deserted island. The captain explained that they had seen a distant signal fire emanating from the island, which led them to believe someone was in need of help. Confused, the man replied that he had not created any fire signal. The captain insisted they had come solely because of the fire signal they had noticed. Suddenly, it dawned upon the man, his burned shelter he had did was the signal the captain spoke of. It was God's plan all along, orchestrated to deliver him from his isolated predicament. In that moment of realization, the man understood that God's plan exceeded his own. He comprehended that God's divine wisdom had utilized his burning shelter as a means to attract help and deliverance from his lonely existence. He recognized that God's plan was always more extensive, audacious, and more fabulous than his own. Filled with gratitude, the man started thanking God for his intervention and the timely arrival of the ship. Reflecting on this incredible experience, he realized that in life, we often make our own plans, only to find that they don't unfold as we wish. We struggle to comprehend the circumstances with our limited understanding. However, during challenging times, instead of losing faith and complaining, it is crucial to maintain unwavering trust in God. Among the billions of people in the world, each of us has a special purpose and a unique plan waiting to unfold. By persevering in our efforts and placing our faith in the Almighty, we can overcome any obstacle. So, keep your faith alive, treasure hope in your heart, and embrace the challenges with zeal, for through the conjunction of our efforts and God's blessings, we can overcome any hardship. Trusting in His divine wisdom and plan, we shall emerge victorious, leading us to a future beyond our imagination. Remember, God's plan is always bigger, bolder, and better.